So here we
Let's
are.
talk about rattles.
Let's talk about rattles. Yeah. So we had the idea to have some conversations about aspects of shamanism and also shamanic tools we use. And we both get really excited about rattles, right?
Yeah, since we started to make our own rattles, it's
Yes.
becoming really a thing.
Yes. So
Mm.
do you want to tell me a bit, Claire, how you've been using rattles in your shamanic practice and how you understand rattles? Why,
Yeah, so
why do we use rattles?
the first thing would be to call the spirit. I think that's the main thing we learn when we teach and we are taught shamanism. And then I figured that I have rattles for different things. I don't know if it's the sound or just the spirit of the rattle. But then I will use my rattle for healing. Is not the same than my rattle for calling spirits. Is not the same when I do soul retrieval or when it's about psychopomp.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's the same for you.
Yeah. Do you want to bring a rattle and say, for instance, a rattle, you calling in the spirits, you're saying, hey,
So
let's
that would be my rattle to call the spirits. This one. But I think that's the first rattle I had, so I bought it. And then I have that one, which is my snake medicine rattle. And it's really often the one I use for healing.
mm-hmm.
Very soft. Yeah, so and I think the rattle you have also for with the sound really clear. We call that the non-bullshit rattle because it's really. And I think that rattle for calling the spirit is also so.
Yes. This is the
Yeah,
no bullshit rattle. Yeah, I
yeah,
feel that really cuts through energy.
mm,
That's for me is another aspect. So I agree. For me, rattles are um, really like an antenna. That's how I've been. Something I heard. It's like we're putting out the antenna. We're saying we're here. We're ready. We want to do this work. We want to go on a journey. Please help us because when we do shamanic work, we go for help, advice, healing. So yeah, we're calling in. It's this beautiful antenna, and of course, we shake in this regular beat, and so we can also journey, and we did this together recently, didn't we? We can journey literally on the shake of
mm,
the rattle, very similar than we journey on the drum beat.
exactly.
Happens, it changes, yeah, our brain waves, the theta waves. Um,
Mm.
so it's also really, yeah, a handy tool right there. If we don't have our drums, and we were there with the rattles. Um,
And I
very
feel
similar.
also that
Oh,
the energy is really different from a rattle to the other, and
yes,
it brings also different journeys.
that's right.
Mm.
Yeah. I also realized I use my rattles sometimes to clear space
Yeah.
in my space and also around me. And
Mm.
you mentioned the no bullshit rattle. It just has a particular sharp sound. But when I feel there's a lot of stuck energy either in me or around me, that's for instance a really beautiful rattle to cut through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we started to make rattles. You want to talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, in a moment, I just want to also say and maybe show some
Mm.
for the different. This is a very old rattle that I made very early on, and I've been using that for soul retrieval. And it has a little bell as well. And sometimes they look um, not very fancy, but that doesn't actually say anything about the power of it, right?
Mm.
And some look really exuberant, and but we might not have worked much.
Yeah. Oh, you can talk about the tiny runs.
Yes. And I want to show another one before that is also a quite old rattle, that I've been using for healing work, and that came to me when I journeyed to the spirit of the rattle as a rattle that wants to work with issues around sexuality. So it's
Mm,
quite specific, yeah. And you said, when we make a rattle, the last step really is to journey to the spirit of the rattle.
exactly. Mm.
So you asked me about the little rattle. So many years ago, I'd been given this little rattle, and all I knew was that it was made on the reservation by some Navajo craft person. And I loved the rattle, but there's something about it was so small, and I had all these other rattles, and this rattle never got much of a workout. I didn't use it very much. And then I did a plant medicine journey, and the rattle spoke to me. And the rattle I really heard the rattle say, "Hey, I might just be little, and I might have been even made for tourists, but don't underestimate me. I'd love to work with you." And so I love that. And of
Mm,
course, and we found a companion.
exactly.
They love working together.
Yeah. And we really feel that energy. We really feel that when we bring the two together, it's completely different, and it's like really more complete, and
Yes.
so that's really beautiful, and
Yeah,
it makes them really powerful too.
that's right.
Yeah.
So making rattles. Why don't you start and what you love about making, and how does this all work? Yeah.
Oh, I love the process of working with an intention, and just that kind of work when you um, merge with your spirit and just do. Um, it's very intuitive,
Shape
and
as well of the rattle might be intuitive, and yeah.
yeah, yeah, everything, and you discover with the kind of tool you have, the wood, what you want to put inside, the place you found everything, the stone or the wood, and so the leather or any skin you're going to use. So everything is makes a story, in fact.
Mm,
So that's the beautiful part. And there's that I mean, when I'm doing that, I'm just in between space. I'm neither here nor in a journey, but I'm just so focused on doing that. So I love the process already.
mm. How,
And
how does it work in the end? So there's the crafting, yeah. So we go and we collect a piece of beautiful wood that speaks to us. We might collect some stones or shells, and we have some rawhide from maybe different animals, and choose a piece. You create a shape that, like you said, that comes intuitively. You might have that
yeah,
hide,
you
and
just know.
and you work with stitching, and you fill it with either sand or something else. And what happens then? What we do
Uh, the, I
that
think the
last
difference
piece?
between a music tool
Yes.
and a power tool is the spirit.
Mm,
And so for shamanic practitioner, we use power tools. We don't use, I mean, we use music instrument, but the purpose of a rattle is to do shamanic work.
mm,
So then we journey to the spirit of the rattle, which can be a I mean, it could be the spirit of the wood, or the spirit of the place you found the stone, or the spirit of, I mean, any material, but most of the times it's another spirit.
yes.
and most of the time it's really the spirit who wants to walk with you on a specific thing. And we we learned also that it's to be done carefully, with a lot of respect for the spirits, with a lot of devotion, even asking permission, because we take some wood from nature, we take some stones from somewhere. We also respect the animal, because the skin are coming from animals. And I think as practitioner, we really need to follow all those steps, do that with a lot of respect, and then we can use our tool. And yeah,
There's a blessing as well, isn't it? A process of blessing it. And yeah, I love how you explained it. It can be the spirit of the wood, but actually, very often it's a very specific spirit and it comes through. And it's like, and then we're in relationship, like everything in shamanic work really is about relating.
mm,
We're entering this relationship with the spirit of that rattle, and as we do it we become clearer, how, and we can ask how shall we work together, how, was this, what is it that you can bring, and how do you want me to work with you? And that, I think that's the shift from it being a beautiful object, or an object we're excited about because we made it, to, yeah, like you call it, a power tool, which it is.
yeah,
And then the journey begins. It,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly. That's the beginning, because I love the fact that at the end of the day, we work in partnership with a lot of things. We worked in partnership with our drum, of course. We worked in partnership with our allies, with our spirit, transcendental spirit, becoming a hollow bone. But we also work in partnership with our rattle. And the more we work with them, the more we know, for instance, what rhythm they prefer, or what sound is it really hard, or is it soft, or and I think that a good way to do that is also to think of dancing our rattle and singing our rattle, and as we do for any other spirit or lie, we also need to embody them, and dancing and singing is great for that.
yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
I wonder whether, because we've just come back from Tunisia, where we were scouting out a shamanic retreat, possibly in the south, in the desert, in a incredible, beautiful place, an ancient Berber village, and we made a rattle there. And I wondered whether you want to bring yours, and I have mine right here, just to show them. To
Very different energy to.
very different energies, and we did a very beautiful process where um, we journeyed to the spirit of our rattle first and received insight and messages, and then we swapped the rattles and journeyed. I journeyed to your rattle and you journeyed to mine. And I know when I see a rattle, I'm so fond of it because it told me a lot of things, and I really got a sense of what, yeah, how we can work together. And yeah, I think equally with yours,
Exactly.
you got a lot of insight, and yeah.
That's also very interesting what you say about journeying with the other. I mean, um, a tool. A power tool is a power tool. It's still. It's still really. How would I say that? There is that belief that, for instance, your drum, you cannot give your drum to anyone or anything. And I understand that very, very much, because the energy you carry and the energy you have, it's like, the comparison might be weird, but you wouldn't give your child to to care for anybody, but you can trust some people to do it. And I think it's the same with your shamanic tools.
That's true. Yeah.
And what we experience together when, I mean, we're walking together, and we know how we have the same, probably we have the same culture about shamanism. So it was really great to do the journey one for the other, because we had a lot of insight and a lot of other things.
And it was like a layering. It was enriching it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sure. I just want to add to what you said. I agree. And also, I have, for instance, a drum who is it's very personal, and yet the drum at some point said, "I'm a community drum as well," and he can be played.
Yeah.
And equally, there's some rattles like my soul retrieval rattle. I never. That's I use that, and
Mm.
there might be others, and I think that speaks again to the connection with the rattle. They
Yeah,
will tell
exactly.
us.
Mm.
They will tell us how they want to be used, but they do want to be used, and that's one thing I'm in my journey of, yeah, really reconnecting so strongly now with shamanism. um I feel I have some repair to do with my power tools as well, because I haven't always been consistently using them. And
Mm.
really, that is something probably particular when we make them. There's some responsibility of saying, "Hey, okay, they're here, so work with us." Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I remember when I met the Siberian woman, the shaman coming from Siberia. She told me something. She told me, "I don't understand you European having so many drums. I have only one, and that's my partner." And she couldn't understand the fact that we could have several. Um, and that's true. That, I mean, she she she's not a practitioner, a shamanic practitioner. She's a shaman coming from, I mean, she does that from probably generation, and she's been taught certain way, and also she used the drum every time. And that's, I mean, I understand completely that. um but that's true for us. We can, I mean, we can have several tools
Yeah.
also. Um,
Do you want to
yeah,
show us some of yours, because I know you've just finished a beautiful
yeah,
rattle
they're in the
today.
process. So there's this one with a olive tree,
Very particular sound. Yeah.
kind of sharp. And there's another. So I don't know exact. I haven't journey. It just finished from today, so I haven't journey yet, and I feel that it's not. It's still not. So it's under. Yeah, it's still not done. And there's another one in progress too. That's the abundance one. This
Oh,
one like a tree,
it's beautiful.
and
It's big, right? Yeah.
and it's really different. So it really richer, more rich. Yeah,
And you told me you put seeds in it as
yeah,
well.
exactly. So in it there's olive seed and date seed, and also some lentils and some fenugreek.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really some things you find in Arabic countries, because I picked up the wood in Arabic country, uh, and yeah. So I don't know yet. I think I'm gonna see what it's gonna be. It's a kind of a big one,
Yeah.
the other one are
Well,
a
if
bit
you want to
smaller.
call in abundance, it's
Exactly,
appropriate.
exactly. So yeah, and
Absolutely.
so we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
That's also very, very exciting, to just discover. And I guess it's the same when you birth a drum or any shamanic tool.
Hmm. Beautiful. And if we run a retreat in autumn, it will be part of that,
For sure.
to make a rattle together. And for me, it's like a distillation. When we were at this incredibly beautiful place, this oasis in the middle of the desert, and working afterwards with the wood, and there's a distilling sometimes of energies and teachings as well, and that's what I could see in our retreat. Towards the end, we are making a rattle together, and everybody will have their unique rattle with their unique flavor.
Yeah, and also there's layers. So at the beginning we start walking, we have some insights, and then yeah, the more we heal or we progress or we just journey, then the more we discover new layers.
Yeah,
So
well,
that's kind of the adventure.
yes. And we probably, I can also, we're starting our shared combined shamanic work with an introduction to shamanism, the 10th of February, and the Shamanic Dragon Day. And because we love it so much, we might probably also do a rattle making day, a day to open to make shamanic tools. So we'll see.
Yeah, because there's so many other tools that can be created, uh, like the fan with feather,
Yes,
drum. That's the main tools, but also we have some different tools to clean.
for
We
sure.
really can create lots.
Yeah.
But I
We,
mean,
we,
I think the rattle is. I mean, it's kind of. Um, I don't know. There's something about rattles because they're yeah. I mean, it's so many different things. It's a bit like the drum, but
yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's
And we
something.
will, of course, we will have another conversation about drums, right?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
the drum is such a powerful, well, such a central tool that we work with in shamanism.
Mm,
Shall
yeah,
we
sure.
complete with a bit of rattling?
Yeah.
What rattles shall we bring? Shall we bring our most recent one?
Let's make them sing. Mm, thank you.
Beautiful. So, thank you. And
Thank you.
until the next conversation,
Yeah. See you soon.
enjoy this.